Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Comics Experiment. It's me and Dan and a guy that walked away in the intro. Doesn't matter. We'll start the show like this while he just takes his time off screen. You want to know how professional we are? We're this kind of professional. This level.
Oh, hey, did we start? It's my bad. I thought it would be funny. I was going to say, wait a second, and I decided again.
I decided again. I like that.
Yeah,
I just said, screw it.
Screw it.
So since this show is more off the cuff and just more fun in general, how's your guys' week been?
Good.
Good? Okay. Dan, do we have an update from your mom?
Oh. I didn't even have a joke for that one.
Yeah, I was like, I know. I actually don't even know if she watched the last episode where I mentioned that she watched the episode prior. So.
Okay, so we're going to just do what we're going to now start every episode off with.
Hey,
Hi,
Mom.
Dan's mom.
Hey, Mom. All right.
You okay?
Yes. Anyway.
Today we're going to talk about who is the Sonyverse for. So
It's literally only for the Sony executives.
that's all it's for.
So actually, it's funny that we're going to talk about this because I am almost convinced that there must have been some contract that Sony got themselves into that is forcing them to make these films. Because I cannot imagine the logic behind people whose job it is to make money and spend less money
Right.
to continuously go, our last movie was garbage.
Right.
Let's make another one. Basically the same. It's also garbage. Double down. Re-release it.
Well,
make the next one. And I
the
just
problem
feel like-
is they made Venom,
Yes.
which was a surprise hit.
But
even with
yes.
the not great reviews, and even I was like, it's not a great movie, but I found it very entertaining.
I did too. But that's
So that's what
why,
it is. It's like they're like,
But that's why I think there's a contract. Like I
There
feel
isn't.
like
There's no contract.
the contract is with Satan.
The contracts that did exist back in the day required the production of something within a 5 to 10 year span of time.
Yes.
They're banging these out on a yearly basis.
Yeah, like that's why we always had so much time in between like Fantastic Four movies because
Yeah.
they were like, oh, it's gonna lapse. We got to make another one real
Right.
quick. Yeah.
And same thing, X-Men originally, before that one took
It's
off.
Bahamut.
The problem
the
is-
demon lord.
The problem is Sony can't make a successful Spider-Man movie as they discovered
live action.
because Amazing Spider-Man 1 did okay and then 2 just bombed in comparison to what they wanted, and they fired Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, well, they made 3 good Spider-Man movies before that.
But that was like a whole different crew.
well, see, that's the problem. To me, that's one of the problems is they made Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield, which wasn't bad.
Right.
I think the first one was pretty good. And then around that time, Marvel was really taking off, and they were like, we got to seed a universe. So that's what the second movie was.
Right. The second movie had half a good movie and then half of a bunch of trailers for other movies.
Right. And then if you look at like, I guess not really Venom. They didn't really do that much with Venom.
Mm-hmm.
But Morbius kind of was like, maybe we'll add Vulture. Maybe they're kind of in the same universe. And then supposedly with the behind the scenes of Madam Web, there was a lot of different things.
Apparently, the story-
there was like maybe a Spider-Man in it.
So here's what it is.
Maybe it was in the 90s. Maybe it was in the 2000s. Like they couldn't decide.
As the story goes with Madam Web, which, by the
Yes.
way, I saw 7 times on loop, and I'm still
I saw 5 minutes and then immediately turned it off.
I saw the trailer. Didn't like that.
Dakota
Well, I mean,
Johnson's acting is so all of them are phoning it in. Like,
To be fair, I tuned
Rumor
into
has
the movie of them going,
CP,
this is CPR.
if
Saving
you
his
if you
life.
follow the story, Sydney Sweeney and Dakota Johnson apparently didn't know they had signed up for a Sony movie and thought they were in the MCU.
I heard rumors about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you can almost tell, like, if that's true, it explains their acting in the movie because they just didn't care.
Just have this image of them being like, so this is the Marvel movie, right? And they're like, yeah, Marvel Associated. And
Marvel
totally.
Properties.
Totally, yeah. It's Marvel Associated. And
So what it is supposedly the movie was originally going to be the plot of they were saving Peter Parker the baby. So
I heard that was the
original
rumors,
plot.
like,
and
when
watching
they
the movie,
first-
there
yeah,
are
yeah.
scenes in there where you're like, why is Mary Parker here?
it was like the 3 Spider-Women and Madam Web had to like to protect the web of destiny,
Yes.
save Peter Parker as a baby or something like that.
Now something involved,
Like
something
a Terminator kind of thing.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like a
Exactly.
Terminator
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
plot.
yeah.
But for some reason, that plot got thrown out. And you can see remnants of it because there's scenes in there. Like when they're rushing Mary Parker to the hospital to give birth, you're like, why are we doing this? No one is even after this woman.
Yeah.
Like, let Ben take
There's
her
like
and then-
ambulances that can do that. Honest taxis.
Yeah, I mean, but no, instead of that,
Uber.
we
Just
need
call Uber. It was 2003, so it's not really Uber's not really a thing. Yeah.
call your buddy.
Yeah, just call Steve.
But it's like
down
they're
the
rushing them
street.
to the hospital, and it's like, okay, well, let's put the 3 women that the villain is chasing into the
Yeah.
car with. It's like, why?
That won't endanger anyone.
So we end up, but supposedly that got thrown out. So then the new idea was going to be a cameo by not by Tom Holland originally, but apparently they then realized they set this film in 2003, and that won't line up timeline wise.
Should have been Yuri cameoed as the Spider-Man.
That would have been good.
yeah.
And so instead they then flipped and said, well, let's get Andrew Garfield into this movie for a cameo.
Sure.
And then that was thrown out because like, well, the timeline still doesn't work out well.
Right.
And so then they were like,
then
well, let's have
Venom.
Yeah, it was like Venom or Morbius would show up.
Sure.
But then they didn't even say. They just like, we just didn't do that.
And then the Japanese Spider-Man.
The problem is that Sony is
is dumb.
Has too much
they
money.
had the hit movies in the beginning. And Amazing Spider-Man never hit that $1 billion box office
Right,
that
yeah.
they thought they deserved.
Yeah.
And so they had to basically give up and just let Marvel use Spider-Man. Because
And those Spider-Man did really well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now they were like, what do we have
We're
left?
doing it ourselves.
Venom worked. I mean, regardless of the
Ish.
opinions on the no, it made a lot of money.
It did.
Financially
I was going to say,
speaking, it was a
financially speaking, it did
success,
work. Yeah.
And so, and they learned the wrong lesson from that. Oh, people only care about a Spider-Man universe, and I'm like, no, people care about Venom.
Yeah. It's like Morbius was not a good movie.
No,
and not a good character.
Venom 2 wasn't that great
but
either.
it could be a good character if you did it
Yes,
right. You'd have to do like
correct.
a genre movie with it. Do like a
Exactly,
horror
yeah.
movie. Don't try to do a
They should have
superhero
kept
movie.
with the vibe of the first half of the movie.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because if you've
You-
seen
you-
Morbius,
you could.
the second half sucked.
I don't.
See, you know what the worst part is about Madam Web? You guys have like the first part of Morbius is okay. Venom 2 had its moments. Venom
Sure.
1,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah.
sure. Madam Web has none of that.
Yeah.
Madam
the
Web
thing
isn't
is-
a
cast.
The other thing is if you're not a down in the weeds Spider-Man fan,
Right.
you probably don't even know who the hell Madam Web is.
Exactly. Because most people probably only know who Venom is because of Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, not even that. I mean, Venom was he's always had his own comic book. He's always been a super.
Yeah,
But
Madam
he's
Web
always
is,
had
is
his
a
own
very
character.
obscure character,
Yeah.
even in Marvel Comics.
Which I find funny because they had that Silver Sable Black Cat movie, and I feel like Black Cat would have more
if they had done
recognizability.
a Black Cat movie, that
But I feel like she would have more recognizability than Madam Web.
Yeah.
But they canceled that one to
Yeah.
get this Madam Web movie out the door.
Oh, I didn't even know there was a Silver Sable.
Yeah, there was a Silver Sable Black Cat team up movie that was going to come
didn't
out,
know that.
and they canceled that one.
It would be really cool if they did a Black Cat movie and it was entirely just a heist movie, and then
Well,
I
that's
think that's what it
the
was gonna
thing,
be.
Same
it
thing.
ends where it just flashes and there's Spider-Man.
The problem with all of these superhero adjacent movies is they try to make them superhero movies.
They do, yeah.
When if you stick with like a genre film, it could hypothetically work.
A great example actually is Blade.
Yeah.
Because Blade, comic book hero, but it's not made as a superhero film.
Right, yeah.
It's a vampire hunting
Yeah,
film.
exactly,
And it's
yeah.
like under that genre. And like you said, there are so many characters that really does
But you got to
fit for.
stick with that.
Oh, and they did. Like,
character's thing.
this one has. It's so
Exactly.
weird because like the movie plays out and it feels like we're doing Final Destination.
I have heard that
because she
yeah.
keeps seeing people die and then
Yeah.
she can fix it. There's no action; they're just running away. So you get like a bit of a suspense thriller.
Sure.
From literally Spider-Man. He's crawling on walls. He's doing all the
It's
Spider-Man
not
stuff.
Spider-Man. It's Ezekiel Sims. Why they didn't just make the Inheritor? Like, why not
would've
just
been-
have Moreland and be like, that could have been your
in all
thing.
honesty,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you're not going to link it to anything, why didn't they lean in and just make it an evil Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Also
Don't even
would've-
say Spider-Man because Brightburn was a great
Yeah.
movie and it was just an evil Superman.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
he was.
Or
Brightburn.
or you do it with as Morlun, but Ezekiel's just have that one scene. Go kill these people.
Yeah. So-
Like just
well,
a simple, because then you've also got, for your universe you're trying to create, a villain that's going to matter for all of these characters. Like, he is such a broad spanning villain when it comes to the spider area.
Verse.
Yeah.
Spider-Verse,
The costumes, they're not even in costumes at all in the movie. The scenes that are in the trailer of them
I
in
was
the
gonna
costume
say I thought I saw them in.
is a premonition of her seeing 20 years in the future when they are Spider-Women, and that is the only scene where they're in the costume. And it plays out in the beginning because Ezekiel wakes up to a nightmare of the Spider-Women kicking his butt. And that's his motivation. We don't even know why they're stopping him. They never say anything. He's just like, oh,
like,
they're going to kill me in 20 years.
How does he know that wasn't just like a kink thing?
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? I guess if you see them murdering you in the dream, maybe.
I mean,
Because otherwise,
some
it's
people
just,
might be into
it's
that.
just 3 women dressed up in tight costumes. Like, I wouldn't immediately wake up and be like, oh, shit.
I got to go murder these women.
They're going to murder me.
Like you'd wake up and go,
I'm picturing Andy calling you and me up. He's like, all right, I had a dream about 3 women in tight knit costumes beating the crap
Just
out of me.
beating me up. I think this is my new thing. If I'm being honest.
Andy, what if it's a premonition for the future?
Awesome.
even better.
Even better. When can I set that on my calendar?
So, and that was one of my favorite things about him. There's no
Wait, I
motivation.
downloaded the wrong Spider-Woman movie.
You don't even know, like he's magically rich. He's just got a suit. We don't know where it came from. What's going on? We don't know.
a spider suit.
Yeah, we don't know
I thought it was
why
like
in
a
the
Brooks
future
Brothers.
why they're trying to kill him or anything.
Right.
So we have that premonition.
Sure.
And then midway through the movie, Cassandra sees it. And one of my biggest complaints is the scene that they're showing off everywhere with her upside down doing the Julia pose.
Yeah.
Not in the movie. The only reason I knew it was in the movie is because I've seen the actual scene. But what they did is they pan in on her face. They pan in on her face, and then they flip it so she's right side up. But she's hanging upside down, and because the hair's like this. And I'm like, why did you waste all the time to hang her upside down?
If you're not gonna like pan back so you could see it.
Yeah.
So, and then at the very, very ending, after Cassandra is now paralyzed because she fell off a roof and a firework hit
Is
her
that
in the
why
eyes.
she has the big thing?
Oh, then at the ending, she has the chair.
Yeah.
Because she got paralyzed by falling off the roof and a firework hitting her eyes.
Sure. That happens. It's a common area. Actually, that probably happened a lot in the 90s. but
Actually,
that's
I was
beside the
going to
point.
say, firework to the eye. That is probably one of the most realistic reasons in comics for someone
Somebody
to
to be
get
blinded. Yeah.
And then
Was
she-
that like acid or something? Nah, a firework when I was a little kid. Yeah. Roman candle.
And then the ending is her with the glasses on in the wheelchair, looking out over the city from her bay window. And it's just
Sure.
like, who parked her here?
Yeah. She can't see. You could put her on the ground floor facing a wall. She won't know.
Isn't that a beautiful view, Madam Webb?
And then
Yes, I can see the future. She's like this close to a wall.
so
now
wrong.
it's just wrong. Now it's just mean.
But then she's like, and I will protect them for the future. And it does the same exact scene with them on the roof, showing them in the
Okay.
costumes. And then it like pans back and you see Madam Web hovering over them. And that's
Sure.
it. That's
Yeah.
the costume.
See,
Can't wait for the sequel.
imagine if they had done this movie where, one, they didn't say what the year was. Two, they're literally going through the whole thing. She's seeing futures. Imagine if they showed clips from the 3 different Spider-Man trilogies, and it was kind of like a...
Like she sees the alternate
she's
realities?
seeing these alternate,
Yeah.
either
Yeah.
alternate realities or alternate possible futures of
Alternate
like, if I do
timelines.
this, then Venom becomes an actual Venom, but instead it becomes like...
They could
an
have
emo
made it the
kid.
movie that we thought it should have been and what they wanted. And for some reason, at the final cut, all Spider-Man is out. There's no direct references to Peter Parker or Spider-Man.
Right.
Other than Ben Parker, I guess.
But even that, he's Benjamin Parker, nicknamed Ben.
It's not Benjamin. Ben Parker. You don't put that as the middle.
They don't even
quotes.
mention May. He's like, I got a girl I'm talking to, and that's like that's as far as
She
that goes.
may be my wife,
That would have been amazing.
right? If you're gonna lean into the idiocy of it, just do
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
From what I saw, though, like apparently the first script wasn't terrible. Because in the interviews, I can't remember which actress it was. She was like, I really liked the first script, but then they removed a lot. And like,
She's, like, blinking in Morse
everyone's like,
code.
we should have taken the hint.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
changed it a lot from the one she liked.
That's what I
And
don't
it's like,
understand. Like, if you're gonna do Morbius, you're gonna do Craven, which is the next one. If you're gonna this year we also have Craven and Venom 3
You
coming
know
out.
what we're thankful for? I'm pretty sure El Muerto got Canceled.
That one is just somebody sitting in a Sony office, and they're like, "What characters can we make movies out of?"
I feel
El Muerto.
I feel like a lot of these they're like because studios buy scripts all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Like case in point with Halo, where they buy a science fiction.
Yeah,
and
and then
can't make
kind of like bend it to make to fit into a property. So I feel like a lot of these times they're like, I have this script about time, potential time travel or premonitions and blah 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 blah, and it's a female-led action movie or whatever, and they're like, well, we got these Spider-Man verse characters that we could just jam in there and we'll make them into a movie. Maybe we'll add some Spider-Man stuff. Maybe not. Who knows? But I feel like that happens a lot.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes is after she rescues them from Ezekiel Sims and drives away. She then deposits them in the woods and says, "I'll be right back." Just
Well, yeah, I mean, that happens all the time.
Andy, I'm saving you from death.
Good luck.
I'm saving you from this death. Hello to this death.
And then Craven leans around the tree. Hey guys.
Turn it into a
That's
comedy.
what I'm saying. Just do it like those old scary movie parody movies ones.
Yeah.
All that were very popular in the 2000s, where it was like a parody movie of everything.
Hold on. Which baby does she drop off into the woods? Because I want to say, it would be an amazing storyline if Peter Parker got dropped off in the woods and then was raised by Craven.
No baby. She drops the 3 girls off. And takes their phones away. She's like, takes their phones.
That way they can't call.
She's like, they can't track you this way. I'll be back, and drives them away. Just they're in the woods.
I'm so glad that I clarified. I thought she had taken babies.
3 babies, just leave
just
them
sit
in the
there
woods.
like,
They were all raised by radioactive spiders. Size of poodles.
Oh, that's terrifying.
It's truly horrifying. Yes.
What movie was that? There was a movie where they
Harry Potter?
No.
Let's say Big Spiders is Harry Potter, The Hobbit.
No,
Lord
there's
of the
one where it
Rings.
takes over, it gets into a poodleish dog or like a chihuahua and it bursts out of its side.
Oh, The Thing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's
it.
the thing. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Which
So
is
a good
also
movie,
truly terrifying. Yeah.
That's also where the guy's head explodes.
Yeah. The Thing. Yeah, John Carpenter's The Thing. Fantastic movie. You should watch it. Yeah, he's not wrong. That's pretty much the sounds it made.
I'm reenacting The Thing, Dan.
That's what this show should just be. You reenacting a movie for us.
We just start reenacting a movie. Just play a game. We reenact it.
Try to
until
figure
you
out
guess
what movie it is. Yeah.
I'll do that. We'll do
2.5
that
hours in.
That's our new show.
Lord
If
of
you
the
want to
Rings
see a
Extended
show
Edition.
where I just describe a movie and see if they can figure it out.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
And whichever one of you figures it out first gets $100. Sweeten the pot.
45 minutes in, I'm like, Basic Instinct?
So, but yeah, the movie's terrible. I don't know why. The problem is I don't know why what Sony thinks they're doing. Like it feels like the Sony.
Well, they think they're making a movie everybody wants to watch.
Well, I'm saying it just feels like because Amy Pascal got done the property and she's been riding this forever, her one big success in the industry to the point where everyone just wants her to go away now. But it feels like they don't have anyone who knows what Spider-Man is or what's popular in Spider-Man in the office. They're just we have this
that's
property.
the way of a lot of things.
Well, I feel like it's not even that they don't. I think there's someone back there going, it's too close to the Marvel one.
Well, I mean, a lot of times they do have a lot of executive interference.
Yeah, I feel like
that's
a big factor with their stuff is I bet a lot of those creatives are like, no, we should be using these characters for this reason. The execs are like, no, because then people are going to buy the toys for their characters. Yeah. That's money we want. Remove their characters, put the ones we will make money off of. And then they're like,
there's a list.
Well, crap.
There is
how do
a
we
list.
make
Yeah,
something? And I feel like there's got to be.
I don't like
it just doesn't make sense from a financial point to pay for all these movies, have so many failures, and then still keep going.
What blows my mind is, okay, we're looking at ancillary Spider-Man characters that could make money that they own because they own the Spider-Man roster.
Right. Yeah.
They're already doing stuff with Miles, so he's in his own area.
Right.
And they want to do
and
a
those
live
movies
action.
are really good.
And they want to do a live action eventually. Sure, whatever. Yeah. But Madam Web, Craven, Morbius, no. We got Miles already out. Do a Kane movie. What about an evil, twisted Bully Maguire?
Or about a Ben Riley?
Yeah, I was going to say, where he
clone.
doesn't realize he's a clone.
Exactly.
For most of the movie.
Yeah.
Like
we could do
that.
clone. You have so many clone spider people. Mm-hmm. You also do have Venom. You could do more with Venom. Venom has 7 symbiotes or 8 symbiotes or 9 symbiotes right now.
They're one of the Venom verses.
Yeah.
Those were entertaining.
Like you're not you're doing the Sony's doing these movies to make money.
A Mary Jane.
They're not
movie.
doing this because they really
They're not
why
doing a
not
great
do
job.
a Mary Jane movie.
I'd probably do better than a
Madam
Just
Web.
make it like a
Madam Web
rom-com.
without Spider-Man.
Yeah, a
But you got to lean into the genre. Do it like a rom-com.
Exactly.
But I'm just saying, I always find it weird because if you look at the list, it's characters you don't even realize are a part of Spider-Man.
Right, yeah,
And they're not using any of these other Spider-Man characters that are interesting. Madam Web? That is such a reach, even as a comic book
Yeah.
fan.
Why not Spider-Woman?
Like, why is there
I don't.
no...
Yeah, I don't know
You
why
even
they.
included them in the movie.
Yeah, I
Just
don't.
do Jessica Drew.
Exactly.
Do Julia Carpenter. Like,
Yeah.
do these... You can do a whole movie based on these characters.
And you can like have mentions to Spider-Man without showing him,
Yeah, exactly.
because like Jessica Drew's realistic origin and power set doesn't really have anything to do with Spider-Man.
What's
at
the
all.
constant
It's
joke?
not, yeah.
Yeah.
She stole my name. She didn't steal my name.
Yeah, like she has nothing to do with Spider-Man. So like, just mention him. Do like a Daily Planet. She sees the Daily Planet like this asshole taking my name.
They did it in Morbius.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Morbius
saying.
had him on the wall from PS5.
No, that wasn't it. Wasn't that not in the full movie? I thought
Well,
that was
they
in the
still
trailer.
promoted it as- it
yeah,
was in the
yeah,
trailer.
It was in the trailer. Yeah,
But still, I mean, it was...
yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And so it's like, there's all these characters you could do stuff with that for whatever reason they don't. I don't
Because
They're picking El Murto and Craven.
Yeah.
and I will say, I will admit,
I would watch Craven.
I will admit, the Craven movie doesn't look bad.
It doesn't look terrible,
Yeah.
and I like Aaron Taylor Johnson. I like
Right.
the guy.
It
the
doesn't look
actor.
like Craven in any way, shape,
No.
or form.
I feel like that's going to be one that, like, if you go in with no expectations,
Literally.
Yeah.
you might get a good
Yeah,
movie, as opposed to Madam Web, where you could go in with no expectations. You could go in with expectations of the worst thing you've ever seen.
The only reason I
And
think
you'll
Craven's still going to be bad
surprised.
is they keep pushing it back, which is not a good
well,
sign.
Yeah. Well,
They're not-
Sony's like, we got to let people forget about Madam Web.
Just get Madam Web out. Just get it out.
Just push it out. This ain't getting any better. If anything, it's somehow getting worse.
We keep making reshoots. It's just going the wrong way.
Now, let me ask you guys this, because I just thought of it when we mentioned Ben Reilly. Do you think, one, is this even a legal possibility? But if they would, Andrew Garfield, they do a Spider-Man, and they reveal he's Ben Reilly.
What do you mean?
Like they make a Amazing
Like a
Spider-Man
normal Spider-Man
4.
movie? Oh, I see. Okay. 4. We didn't get a 3.
Oh, sorry. Amazing Spider-Man 3.
Do 4 just to confuse people.
Actually, yes. We'll skip one.
That would be pretty confusing.
yeah.
Andy, did I miss a Spider-Man movie?
Yeah, we know what you do Spider-Man 3. And like you make references to the third movie. The whole movie.
But like, just if they had done that and then they revealed this whole time
He's actually a clone.
he's been Ben Reilly.
yeah.
I mean, there was talks that Andrew Garfield was cool with coming back for a couple movies.
That's what I'm saying.
And they're just like, nah.
That's why there's so many possibilities. Such a shame.
It's mind-boggling.
It really is.
So, I mean, I don't have much more to say about Madam Web other than it was terrible.
I didn't see it, so
Yeah.
and I don't plan on seeing it.
So how do you feel about the possibility, well, not possibility, seemingly, I don't know how true this is, right now, certain news articles are dropping Kang War from Avengers 5 and just calling it Avengers 5.
That's been around for a while.
I've heard that.
Well, we don't know if it was Feige or if it was just everyone
I just heard they
dropping
were
it.
like moving away from Kang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the worst part with Kang is, even if the Jonathan Major situation didn't happen,
Yes.
no one liked Kang as the big bad of the next
Well,
Avengers.
the problem was they were like, Marvel was like, we're setting up Kang, and it's like, but you didn't really set up Kang.
No,
he was
and
he was like at the very end of Loki.
You
Quantum
showed
Mania.
a nice version of a possible bad guy.
Right.
So as a viewer, you're kind of like,
Yeah.
why am I he's a threat?
He was a little bit in season 2. Well, not a little bit. He was a decent amount in season 2, the 2 versions of Kang. But same thing. They weren't like a threat. They weren't like the bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in Quantum Mania, he was the bad guy, and he was defeated by ants.
Yeah.
Did you hear that originally that wasn't going to end that way?
Yeah, it was
Originally-
he was supposed to win.
Yeah,
which would have set him up as a good villain.
But everyone else was like, no, it's too sad.
Yeah, but it's like so like they were like, oh yeah, no, Kang's the new Batman, but it's like you've had him in like 3 different things, and you haven't really set him up at all.
Yeah.
Not really.
Not as a villain.
Not
at
as a big.
least.
Well, not as an overarching villain.
Yeah, not like
Which
Thanos,
makes removing
where it
him
was
easy.
like this ominous person
Mentions.
behind
Oh,
the
there's this
scene.
guy.
Because that's what they did
getting
with
in,
Thanos.
and- yeah.
They've
That's
set him
what-
up for 10 years.
Yeah.
So when he arrived, we're like,
And,
he,
and it wasn't like he was in a ton of stuff. It was the
The
idea of him,
connections
the
as well, because
connections.
like you
Yeah,
had
yeah,
the
yeah.
Drax wanting to kill him
Guardians of
because
the
of what he
Galaxy.
did.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
we
yeah.
had Gamora's daughter. Like
The Black Guard?
Blackguard, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, like
There was
we
like all
had
this
all
things,
these different
and then you
things, yeah.
finally saw him, and he was this imposing figure. But
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, I don't really have any like
Well, what do you think? If we're not going to do
whole-
Kang War.
Like I don't really care
They're
about
gonna do
Kang.
Secret Wars. Everyone
well,
knows.
Secret Wars is 6 still. That's still Secret
with
Wars.
Beyonder.
Yeah. So what? So now,
I'm sorry.
Well,
The
sorry, so,
Beyond.
but
so
how
now
do
5
we-
is just Avengers 5.
But how do we?
Which is
that
probably what it
confirmed,
should be.
though? Because
Yeah,
I mean, at
Kevin
the end of the
Feige,
day,
they have talked about Avengers 5 and then Avengers 6, Secret Wars. That one still has the name Secret Wars. So
maybe we'll
what
get
do we
Avengers
think
5 Battle World.
But that would be Secret Wars. Secret Wars was
Yeah,
Battle
you get a
World.
part 1,
Because
part
Kevin
2.
Feige-
I mean,
Kevin
they did
Feige-
it with Avengers
Yeah.
Endgame.
Well,
and
because Kevin
Infinity
Feige
War.
came out and said he wanted, after watching the movie Deadpool and Wolverine,
Yes.
wants them to show up in Avengers 5. Apparently, they were
Smart.
going to show up in Avengers 6, but he wants them to show up in Avengers
This
5.
is like twice now where I've heard of Feige being like, after I watched a movie that was already completed, I was like, that guy should be a big thing in this. It's like, that's not what you want to hear. No.
Wait, what was the first one?
It was Jonathan Majors. After Loki, he saw, I guess, supposedly he saw like the end of Loki.
Ryan Hugh, don't do it.
Where he like saw the end of Loki and was like, Jonathan Majors is awesome. Kang should be the next big
Yeah.
thing. Which Jonathan Majors is a very good actor. 100%, I get that. I don't think Kang should have been the next big
The
thing.
problem I have with what Kevin Feige's been doing now is I know, and if you look into it, everyone likes to be like, they planned the Infinity Saga. They didn't.
No.
The amount of stuff that got retconned and
The
changed.
fact that it was called a Tesseract and like not an Infinity Stone at all, and
They
later they're
retconned
like,
them all to be Infinity
it was
Stones.
in the cube.
Yeah, they did that with a ton of
you
things.
could break
didn't they?
this?
Like the Infinity Gems were all in different things, and
Yeah.
then
One
like,
of them was
oh,
in Vision.
Because the one was in Vision, Time Stone was the Eye of Agamotto.
yeah, that's what I mean.
like-
They kind of just grabbed things that made sense.
Yeah,
yeah.
But it's still like it's funny because right now the MCU is such a bad spot. I don't want to hear Kevin Feige's like, that's what we should do.
To be fair, though, the Deadpool 3 trailer does look really
Oh, it looks
good.
amazing.
So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would also be like, man, I really want those guys in Avengers 5.
I don't think Hugh's going to come and do another movie,
I am
though.
almost certain
Although he said that after
Ryan,
Logan. so.
I'm almost certain that he is going to be handing off the mantle in this, and we're gonna get.
I can see him as a variant.
Yeah.
but
The
he
running
won't.
theory is that the MCU Wolverine is going to be revealed at the end of
yes,
this.
Daniel Radcliffe as Patch.
That's the current running theory.
Which honestly,
I did see
if you've
the
ever
theory
seen
that he was
a,
in the when
Have
there
you
is the
seen
back
him
of
looking
Patch.
like
it
it,
was
though?
yeah, he does look pretty jacked. Yeah,
like,
he got pretty jacked.
and he wants to be Wolverine.
Yeah.
like that's the big one.
He'll always be Harry Potter to me.
Harry,
If he doesn't put on a round set of glasses,
He would put them and go, oh, I can see
I can
now.
see just fine now. Yeah.
trying to get the image. There it
He
is.
gets a knife.
The one that this is the
Yes, that's from that show he's on. Yeah,
But the show's really good actually. But that he's just super. Oh,
Yeah,
and everyone's like,
Oh no, there was actually. I think he posted like an Instagram photo of
It was probably
like
like-
him as Wolverine.
Well, yeah, but it
like
was
he was
probably
like, I
like-
would love to do this.
yeah.
I'll see if I can find that.
I don't think anyone would turn down.
No, but I legit,
know?
I'm 90% certain that this is going to be the
real
We're
Wolverine
going to
shows up.
either get
No, it's
Wolverine
all of it is fake.
or a different version of Wolverine, like because he showed me a picture, and I'm so annoyed because he showed me a picture, and it was of X-23 and Ryan Reynolds, but X-23 was in the Honey Badger suit, and I was like, that would be amazing if they're jumping through universes and they grab Gabby,
Yeah,
Honey
yeah, yeah,
Badger, and like she gets pulled into the cat, but then it was AI apparently.
AI.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
hate you.
People were
AI.
saying that they were showing the actress in what they were calling the X-23 suit.
Oh, I've seen those.
Yeah, and it was like, holy crap, Dan! Apparently X-23 is going to show up
yeah.
in costume, and we both got excited for 2
I've,
minutes.
I've seen all.
And then I'm like,
those,
oh, it's AI.
yeah, I've seen those. Yeah.
because it would be so awesome. But Hugh's not going to stick around like that.
I don't know. I feel like Hugh Jackman's doing the Mark Hamill, where Mark Hamill was like, I refuse to play Joker anymore,
Right.
unless Kevin Conroy's in it.
Yeah.
Like that was it. That was his
I
rule
just-
for like
yeah.
almost 10 years.
That's fair. I think
Because he quit before Arkham.
Yeah, but voice acting slightly different than
No, and I agree.
50-year-old Hugh Jackman always getting
I think-
jacked.
and
you
I
know what
agree,
they'll
but he's
do?
doing it right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
So
I feel like they're going to do it in a direction of he will still exist, but it's going to be like after Secret Wars and Battle World, where we had Old Man Logan, Normal Age
I could
Logan,
see that.
and X-23,
And-
that way He's there. He's in the universe.
He can do stuff.
but he's not
the main
one.
character.
Yeah. And he'll just do what they did with Drax when he decided he no longer wanted to get Jack for movie roles and he just wore a hoodie.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, exactly.
That last movie, I was like, Drax is putting on a few old man pounds.
Yeah. Well, even Chris Pratt was a little heavier by the last movie.
Yeah.
Like, man, working out sucks. I get it.
I feel like
with
because the last one was
what
funny,
they gotta
Drax
do.
has that like shoulder hoodie thing,
yeah.
and it's like I've got a feeling that was in his contract. I don't want to sit there and be green and shirtless.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I bet it was either that or the green stuff. I bet does like horrendous things to your skin.
I don't even. Well, I saw an interview with him about that, and he was like, because people were like, "Hey, you got like almost a double chin going. You're putting on some weight." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm in my 50s.
Yeah.
Like I'm done getting jacked for roles.
Yeah.
My metabolism is shot, people.
It's not good anymore.
So, because I was curious about that, I'm like, oh, because he got really ripped for 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And then when the holiday thing came out, I'm like, okay, well maybe the holiday thing, he's just like, I'm not gonna get ripped.
Right, it's not as long. It's
Yeah.
like 45 minutes. You know, why would I get all ripped for that? I get it. That's usually how I work for the holidays for me.
Yep. Just put on as many pounds as you can, and they're not muscle.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, I guess that's all the current news that we can rant and rave about.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, another podcast in the bag for Dan's mom. You have a great night. We're only doing this for her, so.
It's our one viewer, Dan's mom.
We really appreciate your continued support, Dan's mom. Thank you so much.
Mrs. Dan's mom.
Mrs. Dan's mom. And if you happen to be one of those other people that somehow happen to watch this episode on Patreon or on YouTube, stop. This is only for Dan's mom.
Yeah, stop. At the end of the episode you just finished.
Well, yeah, we got to get those views in for this one.
If I see
These
if
episodes,
I see view retention beyond 95%, guys, I'm gonna be pissed.
if you're watching this, it's only for Dan's mom. But if you're watching this on Absolutely, like, subscribe, let us know your thoughts on the podcast down below. And if you're watching this on Patreon, thank you so much. And also, leave me a comment. Say, thank you, Dan's mom.
My mom is gonna get so mad. She's like, why is everyone saying thank you to me?
That's got to be our, thing.
It is becoming our thing.
Yeah.
We should start ratting Dan out. Like, you're not going to believe what your son did last week.
I like it. That's a solid plan.